Welcome, everybody. We are going to get started. Sorry, we're running a little late today, having some computer issues. This is the weekly digital marketing small business training. My name is Maria Bearcat, and we're going to jump right in as people join. I want to welcome you. A few housekeeping items. All of you are on mute. I cannot hear you. I cannot hear your background noise. If you have any questions, there is a chat feature, but we really try to keep this under 30 minutes. So I'm going to ask that you email me any questions that you have about this, and you will have the recording made available to you. For those of you that are new to the call, welcome. And my name is Maria Bearcat. If you don't know already, I'm a social media trainer and consultant. I am very focused on your buyer's journey, the journey that they take throughout the process, because that affects how you do your digital media. And this training is intended to give you some skills so that you understand how critically important it is. These are some of the documents that we've been using. You can download them at designbearmarketing.com/resources. I do try to email them as we use them. Today we are going to be using a spreadsheet, and I will upload that as well. Today's agenda is a little bit changed. As I put everything together, I realized it was way too long, so I had to separate Instagram into two parts, because you need to understand why Instagram is so important. And then there are some key critical foundation pieces that you need to do to organize your account and to determine what is going to work for you. And then we will go through the 5 things that have changed, and then I'll go into more detail into that next week, because it really doesn't impact you so much as to understanding really the foundational stuff. So let's jump right in. Why Instagram? So some people will say to me, you know, Maria, Instagram is mainly for young people or for women or for men. You really have to understand that it is a growing app, and that there are demographics to it. 26% are men. This is from 2017. 38% are women. The age groups are pretty strongly weighted to the 18 to 29 group, but I have noticed that this is growing very much. And I'm going to give you some ideas as to why this may be important to you, to see why it's important to you to have it. Instagram is now owned by Facebook, and Facebook users and Instagram users go to the site every single day. So this is a really critical thing to understand. Instagram is growing so fast. It's amazing. And there's lots of new customers on there that maybe you don't have. So it gives you an opportunity to maybe have a little different personality on both, to see where they are. And any site where people are going every single day is an opportunity for you to showcase who you are and what you do, and give people an opportunity to like you and follow you. So it's really important that you understand that it's the way of the future, right? Twitter may or may not be your place. Pinterest, I believe, is very important as well. LinkedIn is critically important for all of us, business owners and professionals, to be on there, despite the fact that people don't go on there every day. And so you have to consider that it depends on the use and what it is that we're doing, because Facebook and Instagram are very, very different. 32% of online adults, that's 20% of all Americans, use Instagram. So this is a lot of people, definitely. And there are a lot of young people. The 30 to 49 group is probably the fastest growing group. The 50 to 64 group is a little slower. But as all of these things happen with Facebook and it begins to reinvent itself, more and more people are going into Instagram. So I show this again for another reason, because demographics are critical. Psychographics, that's why people do what they do and what their value systems are and all of that, are even more important. And we don't really have statistics on that. That's something that you would have to do. But you have to understand why these people are migrating back and forth. And we're going to talk about that a little today. But the main reason that Instagram is so important, why any social media is important, is because we're trying to get them into your business. And your business digitally is your website. So how are you going to get them there? You're going to email people that already know you, but how do you find all the people that don't know you? And there's all of these social things. I mean, and you don't need most of them, but you do need to find a way to embed who you are and what your expertise is somewhere. And you need to find a social program that mirrors who you are and that has the buyers that you want. You can't be where you are. You need to be where your customers are, new customers. So there's lots of places. And Instagram is one of those sites that's really critical for really every single business. I haven't found one where it's not true. These are the most important tactics really of any social media site, but they're really critically important for Instagram. And we're going to kind of go through a lot of these, but your use of image and photos, very, very important. Now, you know, this kind of is a chart that's showing you that, but I like it because all of these things are critical to be optimized. You have to have hashtags and usernames. This is important in Instagram, it's important in Twitter, and it's also important in Facebook and most other sites. You need to target your people. You don't want to target all men, all women, everyone 55 and up. There has to be other things. There has to be a specific group of people because that tells you where they are and what they want. And if you're not giving them what they want, they're not going to be able to find you. Call to action, CTA. This is one of those things that we all need to know. It's a marketing term. It's sharing, it's retweeting, it's following. And you need to ask people to do these things, right? That's the purpose. I understand you want to sell what you have, but the only way that you can do that is you have to have touch points with different customers. They have to trust you. It's very much the same as it was in the old days where we had the rule of 7. Remember, they had to call and see your ad and come in and come to an event, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your call to action is telling them what to do. And it can't be buy my stuff, and then, hey, buy my stuff. It has to be follow me, share this, retweet this, have a conversation with me. This is the digital way that we go out and we reach out for new customers. In every industry, there's not one that's different. A dentist is not different from a gift seller, is not different from a swimming pool installer, is not different from a preschool. It's just not different. We all have the same need. You need to optimize images. You need to understand what that means. Resolution is important. The size of your profile photos are important. There's ways that you can do this. I will upload a cheat sheet this weekend on each site. What the exact sizes that it has to be. And you're going to have to learn terms like pixel, PX. Who cares? There's ways to go about and do that. The use of videos is becoming much more important. It is sort of the way of the future. There's ways to get around it. If you don't want to use your mobile phone to take videos, you can do different kind of display ads where they're moving, or you can even record a PowerPoint and have that be a video for you. And then number of characters is important. Mainly, it used to be for Twitter, there was only 120 characters. Now there's more, but it's always good to keep in mind because for advertising purposes, that's very, very true. So let's start with the critical foundation pieces of Instagram. Number 1, you have to know who it is that you're targeting. Your avatar, your persona. This is a project that every one of my clients has to go through because if you don't know who you're targeting, if you don't know your specific targets, how can you determine what's going to grow your business? Because I may have 3 different kinds of clients, but only one of them consistently is coming in because they're very niche oriented. So if you were a website creator and you wanted to have websites, sure, everybody needs them, but the competition is so great for everybody that maybe you'll focus on attorneys, and maybe the competition is too great for attorneys. That would be your niche number 1. You would go to niche number 2, you would do bankruptcy attorneys or family planning attorneys, and you can really specialize. So every business has that opportunity. Dentists can say that they're only doing certain things. You'll notice that everyone is specializing. So these are the questions that you kind of go through to determine that, because it depends on the problem that you're solving and what it is that you're doing. And I'll upload this so that you can take a look at it. Here's the main beast. This is for everything. And if you could see my tabs at the bottom, you would see that I do this for Facebook. I do it for everything, along with all of your social media sites. And we're going to go through this a lot today. But basically what you have is you're going to copy URLs of Instagram followers, because that's what we're talking about today, the name of the account. You're going to talk about what the display picture or the profile picture looks like, the number of followers that they have, their call to action, their theme, so to speak, their niche, and then their posting schedule. And this is really critically important for Instagram. Here are a few. I like to give everybody some top Instagram accounts. We are going to go through some of these today and use those as our examples. And I filled out Chanel here, and we're going to come back to that. But this is what we're going to spend most of our time on today. And you have to do this for your business and for advertising purposes, because knowing all of your competitors and what their accounts are, what this information is, helps you to remarket advertising. And we're going to get into that next week. But if you only have an account that has 800 or maybe 1,000 followers, and you want to get to the point where you have not 28 million, but let's just say you want to have 28,000, how do you do that? Well, you can take some of these fans if they meet certain criteria. The third foundational aspect, not just of Instagram, of all sites, is to know what your profile photo needs to be. So there's a certain size, it's usually squared, but in Instagram's case, they round it off. So if you have important things on the outside, it doesn't look good for you, right? So here are some Instagram profiles: NASA, Art Whisperer, George Takei, National Geographic, Getty Images, LACMA, which is a Los Angeles museum, and Art Hilton Alves, he's a very prominent artist in Hawaii and in Southern California, actually mostly in the West. So if you look at these, so when you're searching for National Geographic, notice how their profile photos are. So whatever was there was cropped, right? Art Whisperer and artist Hilton Alves, there's something wrong with these profile photos, because you don't know what it is. And maybe it's the same on their Facebook account, maybe it's the same on their LinkedIn profile, I don't know. But that's the first rule, is all of these must be the same on all of your social media accounts, but it needs to be recognizable. And you don't need to be Getty Images to have a recognizable profile photo. I understand that Art Whisperer is some kind of an artist or a gallery, and they want to put this and they change it every month, but it doesn't help your audience recognize you when they go place to place. So try to fit the name of your business in, the font that you're using or a particular color, and see if you can get it in that 500 pixel by 500 pixel size and play around with it. So it doesn't have to be your logo. It can be something different. So George Takei, for people that don't know him, he's I think he was on the original Star Trek TV show, and now he's a very popular social media advocate rights person, and he always uses a cartoon character for himself. But people know that because if you go to his Twitter account, it looks like that. Go to his Facebook account, it looks like that. So you need to think about that. Research. Research is really, really important. So we're going to go back to this document right here, and we're going to go through the different steps. And unfortunately, most of Instagram is done through your phone. And I did record some information on my phone, but I felt that it was just better to screenshot some things. And if you wanted to go through more detail, you could just let me know. Let's pop up Coca-Cola. They're one of my top and one of my favorite sites for the way that they do things. I'm not a Coca-Cola drinker, but it's an iconic brand here in America. And there's some very unique things. So when you pull up their Instagram page, you're going to notice a theme. And the theme is, as you toggle down through, you're looking at their gallery, right? Instagram is all about the visual. It's not like Facebook where it's competing for space with news and all sorts of crazy things. It's the same thing. It's your daughter-in-law and her photos. It's Coca-Cola throwing in there. It's all of the places that you follow and the people that you follow. So everyone should have a theme as a business. And you need to go and really look at your theme. And you need to say, is this fragmented? Am I just throwing things there? What's happening? You also need to look at the quality of the image, right? You'll notice all of these are crisp and clear. And every single one that we pull up, I want you to notice that. So you need to notice your own. If you look closer at their profile, so we're going to talk about bios. We're not going to do that this week, but that's a really foundational thing because it's related to some of the new things that Instagram has done. So there's their wonderful logo. There's their name on Instagram, Coca-Cola together. You have their followers, 2.5 million followers, and you have their call to action. So this is your bio. But your bio should include a call to action. And Instagram does allow you to have links here. And I'm going to show you some tricks on that next week. But very minimally, you should go into your bio right after this call and you should change it to your name. And you should have some kind of a tagline. So theirs is hashtag share a Coke. So they're trying to get that hashtag moving. But that's really their whole philosophy. Share a Coca-Cola with your family and friends. If you look at their commercials, it all goes together. And the theme of what they're doing is all about them, right? You need to have that. You need to not sell what you're doing or give a complete history of what you're doing. You don't have many characters here. It's very, very small. So you need to look at that. Then you need to, if you move your mouse over each post like I am, the engagement will come up on that particular post. So you can go through their whole gallery, and as you move this over, 75.2, so 75,000 people looked at this post and liked it or commented, or actually 786 commented and 75,000 people actually liked it. So as you go through and you look at them, some things do, some things don't. And if you think about that form, what's the engagement rate? What's the most popular thing on their page? And you should be doing that to your own. Now, of course, you probably don't have, 7,500 people looking at your stuff, but you want to see what's most popular. And in this research process, it's critical as you look at your competitors, what is most popular on their pages, because maybe you should be duplicating that, right? So it makes sense. So now let's go to this, and this was in fact the most popular post. It was their most recent post. If I open up that post, I will see that they've put some content here. They have hashtags, and now people are commenting, and you can go all the way down and you can see all 786 comments. Comments are amazing. So first thing is, it's hashtag proud parent, hashtag Pride Month, hashtag share your pride. So obviously this is a Pride festival, and this was Coca-Cola is a diverse company, and they support all issues in our culture, and so it's very, very important to them that they do this. But you can learn a lot by looking at the most popular posts and seeing what it is that they're saying and what the hashtags are. And I'm going to go into that a little more detail with another site. But how do you use this for yourself? So let's say this was your competitor. You can click that 2.5 million followers, and it will give you literally an entire list of 2.5 million followers. The more you toggle down, you will see everyone. And followers are in order of likes and following from the beginning. So these people are the very beginning followers, right? So I only went down through a few, but you should go through, if you find an Instagram account that is truly your competition, you should go into their followers and you should take a look at 3 to 5 of them. So I just randomly picked one, Emma So, and I opened it up and I was able to look at her profile, right? So she has 1,926 followers. She's a classic pianist, a piano teacher. She's a lifestyle blogger. She's giving us her call to action, which is to go to her website or her blog. And you have to look at the posts and look at the theme of what they're posting. So if this is a true competitor of yours, if you were, say, a travel blogger, she might be someone that you would want to follow her. But you need to open up several profiles to decide, are their followers worthwhile for me to follow them, number one. And number two, I'm going to show you ways that you can capture these followers and get them to like your other accounts for yourself. So it's important process that you do. Whoops. So now let's look at National Geographic. I love them. They're probably my favorite Instagram page. It's visual. They never break from their brand, right? So they have this iconic yellow square in their name right on the top. They have 88.4 million followers, and they are only following 128 accounts, which is kind of interesting. And then they do a lot of posting, right? So here is their bio. Experience the world through the eyes of National Geographic photographers. That's what they do. That's the core, the heart, and the soul. So basically what they're saying is, follow us and you're going to see the world through the eyes of our photographers, right? So now they have to give us that in their gallery page. So as you look through their gallery page and you see the images, is this something? So this is how people are judging your page. They're looking at your name. They're also looking at your followers, and they're saying, this is Joe's Dental, and he says that he makes people happy or smile. So we're going to be looking for images that make us feel comfortable, that are truly part of his business, right? Always, always have a call to action. And this is something that you can change. So I click this. It's not important for us, but it doesn't go to their main page. It goes to their specific thing that they're working on right now, the plastic pledge. But you can have this go to a particular product that's really popular right now, or some other kind of thing. You can also include the hash. I mean, you would want to have it on your website. It's very important. And then remember, I said when you move your mouse over, it's going to show the engagement on a post. So on these 9, this one was the most popular. It had 5,000 people that liked it, and then they had 1,885 people that made comments on it. So I want to open it up to you. So here's this image. Now you have to kind of decide why. Why did people like this? So they're putting information. They're also putting hashtags. You don't need 100 hashtags. You need at least 3 that are applicable to your business, and I am going to talk about that. But maybe a lot of people discovered this through these hashtags, right? So I'm going to show you how we're going to use that. But as you open up your competitors, you want to see what are they writing. You want to see what their hashtags are, and you want to see what the engagement is. So obviously, having 506,000 people like this is huge. We would be happy with 506, right? Some people with 50. It just depends on where you are in your business and what your competitors are doing. So let's hone in on this hashtag. As you look at your competitors, see what they're using. And only look at the posts that have the engagement for their number of followers, right? So if it's a post that really failed, then what do you care what they put on there because it failed? But this one happens to be very popular. So I went in to Instagram and I just typed in hashtag nature. You can also do just nature. Either way, it'll pull up mostly the same things. And you'll notice that nature is the top hashtag for this nature photography. So I went in and I wanted to see what kind of posts were in there. And that's what you want to do. So if you're hashtag dentist or hashtag art or hashtag fitness or, whatever hashtag preschool, you would want to see what's going to come up. So look at how many people are using that hashtag, right? Way too many. But you want to see, is this me? Is this theme? Do I feel this? Because this is what people look at when they come in here. It's like walking into an art gallery called nature. We want to see what it is that people are doing. Some people are spamming. Some people are not posting appropriate things. They're just using popular hashtags to get you to click on their site, but you can get a better feel as you go through and look at those hashtags. Now, I happen to think that nature is too big for you. So like art would be too big. I mean, I wouldn't not put it on a post, but I don't think as you refine on your research, it's going to give you exactly what you want. Because look, I mean, there's so many people that use that. So as you pull this menu down, you will get different things that begin with nature, nature lovers, and you go over here, you have again, nature lovers, nature, no underscore lover, and no S at the end, nature featuring. So these are all of the kind of things that come up, and you can keep going down, 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 but I want you to look at it, and I want you to see the number of posts, and this is all in real time, where people are using this. And I don't like to go to hashtags that have too many. I would definitely use your main category, but then I would find the categories that really hone in on your business, right? Because if you're a nature photographer, then nature photography would be important for you. And you have to decide, do you do nature up close? Do you do nature in Greece? What is it that's important for you? So I happen to pick nature collection because it has 149,000 plus posts. That's a reasonable amount, right? And I looked at that. And here is definitely a greater refinement to nature as a broad category. So nature collection. It has beautiful photos. So if you're a photographer, as you toggle through, there were a lot of photos of couples and in nature at their wedding. Maybe it fits what you do, maybe it doesn't fit what you do, but you want to kind of hone in on that. You want to put your mouse over, find the most engagement. So there might be multiple ones. So on this one, this was the first. This one, the next to it happened to be the second. So I looked at it, it had 2,172 people that liked it, and there were 133 people that commented on it, right? So that's amazing. So you want to open that up and you want to see what else is in here. So flower shots, flowering, flower, you know, macro flower. Look at the posts. So this is from photo touring. This is how people discover you. Right? I'm looking for nature, nature's collection. Maybe I already follow this hashtag. This is how you could follow photo touring. You could click their name, go to their account, see what their gallery looks like, what hashtags they're using, how many fans they have. This is how you would do research on your own competitors, but this is how the vast majority of people find new things to follow. We're looking through our news feed and we get bored and we type in sunsets, sunsets in Huntington Beach, art for children, something like that. You're going to find your different hashtags and you're going to see what comes up, and then people will follow you. So it's very important that you use hashtags. This is a critically important thing. So here's a tip. Tagsforlikes.com is a free site, and it gives you, it updates daily, and it gives you the most popular hashtags of the day, right? So here we have love, tags for likes, follow for follow, and there's uses in here that are important that we'll talk about next week. So mostly that's not going to be very helpful for you. As you go down the page, it's going to tell you the second and third most popular tags, nature tags, weather tags, animal tags, which I opened up, and then there's a whole series more. So there's general animal tags. So let's say you're a vet, cute, love, nature, Instagood, and then, but maybe you photograph dogs. Maybe you take care of dogs. Maybe dogs are a part of your business in some way. So you could look to see what the most popular hashtags are. What does this mean? It means that people who are on Instagram are using these to find pages to follow. It's an art gallery. We're looking for places so that as we go through our phone, that we're going to have that on there. We already are running out of time. So these are the updates. They've added an Explore tab. They're putting in video group chat, Spotify integration. This is so important for younger audiences. Spotify is music, and it's integrating into Instagram. It's going to make it even more popular with people under 35. GoPro integration. I live in Southern California, and there is no demographic that uses GoPro. I have seen grandma and grandpa use it, and I've seen 10-year-olds use it. So GoPro is big and huge, and this is going to be big and huge for everybody. Augmented reality filters, a little more complicated, but it's a new thing. And then they're doing a lot of anti-bullying improvements. So that's a critical thing if you're concerned, if you're in a business that's sensitive to social media and your own audience, especially schools are, very sensitive to bullying and things that go on online, and they're instituting some measures. They're not in there yet, but I've read about them and they're very good. We are going to talk about these in more detail next week, as well as to give you some tips on how to gain those followers. So reflection process. I do this every week. You need to think, can I reach a new audience here? So some people have a very specific audience, right? You're marketing only to the up 50 plus crowd. But what if the people that work for you are not 50 plus? Could this help you in hiring? You have to look at social media for all aspects of your business. And then how can you structure your team to help you with posting, not just in Instagram, but all of them? And if you have a business and you have employees and your employees are not helping you, and I don't care who they are, your dental assistant, your teachers, there is a way that you can train everyone on your team to help you do the marketing of your business, because that is the reality of the world we live in today. So it's very critical. Our weekly questions. How many new emails did you add to your list? You should know this right away. What were your total sales for the week? You want to know, just like as you're going through those Instagram posts, you want to see what had the most engagement. Well, what's selling the most? Why? Week to week to week. Is it because we marked it down, or is it because this is what people like? They like red things or soft things or whatever the item is. And all of your employees, they need to know what's going on. It's critical. How many new fans did you add this week? So as you look at Instagram, you have your followers. Facebook, you have your fans. You want to know, is it growing? And you should have benchmark goals every single week to make them grow. What was your most popular piece of content? That's what we were looking at. We wanted to see which one had the most engagement, that had the most likes and comments. And I'm going to show you how you can use that comment field to actually gain followers for yourself. On Instagram, we're focusing on Instagram next week. Who was your most engaged follower? Now on Instagram, this is harder, especially because you tend to have more followers, but you should know who's always liking your stuff, and you should have a conversation with them. How are you improving your customer service? Improving customer service could be as simple as getting an Instagram account, because you may have a whole audience, a whole customer audience that loves Instagram. A lot of people got off Facebook. It's still your primary place, but maybe do you need to be there, and you need to think about that. So next week, we're going to go through Instagram part 2, which I kind of told you more. We're going to do really how to gain more followers and how to do it. I highly recommend that you do that research, that you find your competitors, that you look at those themes and you look at their posts and you compare them to yourself. And the only way that you can determine if you can remarket to them through Facebook or through Google is by the number of followers. And I'm going to show you some tricks on that, because 200 followers is not worthwhile. 10 million followers sounds great, but if it's too general, then it's not good. So we're going to go back to that form. I'm going to show you some actual competitor things for one of my clients, and then we're going to talk about how you can use that. So I want to thank everyone for being here this week. I'm sorry I ran over 5 minutes. I told you this is a lot of information. I really would love some feedback. If you want to email me, I will follow up and I will post the number. Quick question. You don't need to have an overwhelming number of hashtags. Is recommended number dependent on the type of business? Okay. hashtags are not dependent on your type of business. What they say is dependent upon your business. So having 20, I wouldn't have more than 20 hashtags. And you can be creative with hashtags. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to do just a hashtag training, just to be more clear. But you want those hashtags to be popular as well with your competitors, because that's what this is leading up to. So yes, you want to have your own business name in there, but if you're a small business, you're not like Coca-Cola, then having your name in there doesn't mean anything, unless your customers are searching for you. So always have that. But I would stick with 3 to 20, and I know that's a huge range, but as you go through that customer competitor look, then I want you to see that the most obvious things are not always the most obvious things. And there are these broad categories, like nature is just huge. Yes, you want to include that. Dental, you want to include that. But maybe there's something more refined. And when you look at the hashtag site that I gave you, I think you can hone in on that. So thank you again. I want to welcome you all back next week. And I look forward